Hey everybody, I'm Christopher Green, and you're tuning into AMTV, Alternative Media Television. Is the President of the United States, Barack Hussein Obama, the worst president in the history of America? That's not my opinion, but is the opinion of some African Americans on the city streets of Chicago today that protested today and over the weekend, arguing that this scumbag president is the worst president in the history of America.
Again, as I say, he will probably go down as the worst president ever elected.
You know, the same president that loves to play the race card, whether or not it's himself likening himself to Trayvon Martin, to racially conquer America, to get Democrats and Republicans warring against each other, again, to pull the racism BS that makes up the administration, really what the president does best, or whether or not this is Eric Holder, the Attorney General, one of President Barack Obama's constituents, saying that there's racial animus, meaning and inferring that you're a racist if you oppose the Obama administration.
There's a certain level of vehemence, it seems to me, that's directed at me, directed at the president. You know, people talk about taking their country back. You know, I can't look into people's hearts, look into people's minds, but it seems to me that this president has been treated differently than others. There's a certain racial component to this for some people. I don't think this is the thing, is a main driver, but for some, there's a racial animus.
If you oppose Democrats here in the United States of America today, you must be a racist, according to Eric Holder, who was also responsible for Fast and Furious running guns down into Mexico that killed an American and largely a lot more people. You know, the same presidency more focused on illegal immigration and legalizing thousands, tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of illegals while the war in Gaza rages on and Israel perpetrates gross atrocities against civilians. You know, the same president who cares and cares more about racism here in the United States and playing the race card than he does his own city, where he's from. You know, Obama, the senator from the streets of Chicago, before he took the Oval Office and became the arguably most powerful man in the history of the world. You know, these are the games and shenanigans that the president likes to play. Again, ignoring dozens and dozens, thousands of innocents killed in gross violence, whether or not this is gang-related or not, in the city streets of Chicago, dozens dead over the July 4th holiday, for an example. Ignoring those issues, ignoring what's really happening here in America, on our streets, but paying more attention to legalizing illegals and playing the race card with that. You know, it's just absolutely amazing that the president is able to play and put on this charade for the American people, and they actually buy into it. You know, this political paradigm, right versus left, Republican versus Democrat, with the mainstream media at the top of the pyramid, hoisted by the bankers, screaming down at the people, right, left, Republican, Democrat, march, 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 march. You know, each time things get worse in America and in our society, the Democrats arguing they're going to vote for Republicans next time, and the Republicans arguing they're going to vote for Democrats. Again, this is all a part of the New World Order agenda to keep us fighting against each other. This is the paradigm. There is no political system in the United States anymore. It's just an oligarchy of very famous names. Whether or not it's the Bushes, or it's the Clintons, or it's the wild card that is Obama, who's arguably, according to his own constituents on the ground, African Americans in the cities of places like Chicago today, the worst president in the history of the United States, arguably the world. Again, choosing to play the race card, ignoring our own violence on our own city streets, failing to address our own problems internally, continuing to push and propagate bank bailouts, ignoring what's happening in the Middle East, dozens if not thousands being murdered by Israel at this very moment in Gaza, yet more interested in playing the race card and legalizing thousands, if not tens to hundreds of thousands of illegals on our borders in states like Texas and Arizona. This is what the president is about. Playing the race card, creating racial divide, and garnering and creating all this hatred in the United States of America today. The only racist here in the United States of America is the president and people like Eric Holder. I'm Christopher Green. Get it out everywhere, make it viral, hard hitting it in your face, and click the link below to support our sponsor.